My name is Trey Johnson. I work for a company called ZAP. I'm their Chief Evangelist. Um, I've been working really in the BI space since well before BI and data management and data science were even terms. Probably for too long. It goes back about 25 years, but I've had the good fortune of doing that really throughout my entire career.
Great. Well, thank you so much for being on Humans of Data Science. I'm excited to talk to you today. And the first question I'll ask is, what is a chief evangelist and what do you do for ZAP?
Gosh, well, I've only been in the chief evangelist role for probably about 6 months now. I have been with ZAP for 10 years. Got my start with the business, helping them get the North American business up and running, and really have worn every hat that I could in the field for our business. And as a result, we've brought along a lot of good folks into our business, and it's allowed me to kind of move over more to the evangelist side of things. And as a chief evangelist, I spend a lot of time talking with folks, hopefully using my 2 ears and my one mouth appropriately, hearing what folks have to say, seeing where not only the data science realm, but all the other decision supporting and data management type activities are going. And relay it back hopefully to people that either are customers or prospective customers in a way that they can understand, and help them make some decisions that they need to make.
Great. Well, in preparing for this conversation, I did look through your LinkedIn profile and I saw that there's an article you posted, I believe it was mid-October, called "This is the Day." And in that article, you mentioned things like that Power BI and Tableau are great tools, but ZAP can make them better. So I'd like to just hear more about how does ZAP make them better. I love those tools personally. So
sure, yeah. Well, I think the biggest challenge, and appreciate you bringing that up, because really just come out of 2.5 weeks of the events around Power BI. There was a Tableau conference most recently in New Orleans. Had a wonderful opportunity to talk to so many folks, and the cool things that are happening for a lot of those people is there's so much that's being enhanced from a visualization standpoint. And, there's a lot of other preparatory things that are happening with data, blending things that are happening with data, but the reality is a lot of these customers are faced with data sources that are probably a little bit challenging still. So ERP-based data sources, Microsoft, for example, their Dynamics ERPs, many of them have multiple thousands of tables underneath them. So to point Tableau seamlessly at something like that, or Power BI even for that matter, is a real challenge. And so in that article, This is the Day, it was simply just about the fact that there's technology available from ZAP, combined with the wonderful things that have been announced last week at the Tableau conference and are being announced not only a couple weeks ago at the Power BI Summit, but also next week at the SQL Pass event. There's a lot of great things that are happening in that space. And for folks to take full advantage, particularly the folks that we spoke with, they need the ability to bring those complex data sources together with a little bit less complex data sources and make sense of their whole business. And that's where ZAP plays very well.
Okay, great. So you attended Tableau conference last month?
Yeah, it was in New Orleans. Yeah, it was good times.
I'm so jealous. I missed it. It sounded like a great conference to be at.
It was. There were, I think a record number of folks. I want to say 18,000 was the number that I heard.
18,000?
18,000. Well, and you got to experience all of them at the end of the week at the Tableau kind of data party. There was just a massive amount of people there. But we as an exhibitor, as a vendor and a partner of Tableau, had a wonderful time and really had the opportunity to talk to a lot of really interesting folks, a lot of which had an interest in our technology, which was cool.
Great. So I do want to talk more about your partnership with Tableau and how that helps with the clients that you serve. So do people come to you through Tableau, or do people come to Tableau through you, or is it just kind of a two-way street?
No, it's a good question. I think at this stage in our relationship with Tableau, we're very much, kind of seeking out and finding our own customers that have, a paired interest of Tableau plus needing more traditional relational data platforms to support the things that they do. And that's great. Hopefully over time, we grow to the point that, we're able to maybe do things a little bit differently with Tableau. But our partnership with Tableau, like so many of our partnerships, with Microsoft and even with Sage, the ERP vendor who OEMs our product, is one where, we're really wanting to kind of tow our own weight, if that makes any sense.
Yes, yes, makes sense. Okay, so Trey, what is a goal that you have for yourself, either professional or personal, that you'd like to accomplish over the next 12 to 18 months?
Oh, over the next 12 to 18 months, I'd like to get a little bit more immersed in the unstructured data side of things. There's so many cool things that are happening with, streaming data and, kind of the practical business applications around it. I don't know that anybody, is come out in a very authoritative way around that. And I know that's certainly where a lot of people's data needs are going. So I'm interested to continue to understand that. I feel like I've got a great command of the structured data side of things. So, unstructured data seems pretty neat.
Yeah, that's a great goal to have. And I did want to ask, where is this passion for data coming from? I'm assuming there's passion since you've done it for 25 years.
No, for sure. Yeah. No, it's just, and I really enjoy kind of all aspects of it. And I think that's one of the benefits I've had in working, particularly at ZAP, is, we get to work with the data in maybe its rawest form all the way through the point that people are making, analytical decisions and things of that nature. And that's really exceptionally cool for me is taking information, data in its rawest form, turning it into information, and then really seeing the impact that it might make on folks that maybe have historically only viewed data as things that show up in spreadsheets or things that were a little bit harder to digest. In the era of dashboards and analytics and things that we do particularly well for all stakeholders across an ERP, that's cool stuff. So.
All right. Well, speaking of cool stuff, the last question I have for you today is about what you like to do in your spare time. So what cool stuff are you doing outside of data?
Oh, I kind of digitally detach in every possible way when I'm kind of doing my fun stuff. My fun stuff is actually taking apart Porsche motor cars, and I've got a couple of engines that are disassembled in one of my garage bays right now, and a couple of cars without engines in them, and so it consumes the out of work hours, and one of those cars is getting rebuilt for my 15-year-old for him to drive when he turns 16. So that's really cool.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. Is he excited?
He's incredibly excited. We've been working on it for probably about a year and a half, almost 2 years. So.
Okay, so he's helping you fix it up.
Absolutely. Yeah. My view with kids is you got to help them build life skills, and I think as much as there's a lot of life skills that require a computer and a keyboard, there's a lot of things that just require your bare hands too. And so I'm excited to be able to pass that on to him.
Absolutely, and that's amazing. Well, Trey, thank you so much for making time for this, and it was great getting to know you better.
Absolutely. Thank you. Really appreciate it.